Alright, welcome to a week recap. This is week 4 of October. It is currently week 5, so I'm doing this recap a little bit late, but who cares as long as it gets done, right? So, yeah, I'm gonna start off on, I think it was October 20th is when, yeah, October 20th. Before we get into it, I'm gonna read the news events for this week. So Monday was a no news Monday. We also had the AWS outage. Affected a lot of prop firms and just lots of companies in general. Tuesday, no news Tuesday. Wednesday, no news Wednesday. So expecting really nothing from Monday through Wednesday. And then Thursday, we have slight news. We have a 10 a.m. orange folder as well as a 3 p.m. orange folder with Trump speaking. And then we have Friday, which is the most volatile day in terms of news. We have 8:30 CPI, and then we also have 9:45 flash manufacturing PMI. So, yeah. Out of all the days, Friday seems really promising, just with that spike in volatility that we would have in the market. So, not really sure if we got a trade exactly on Friday. I don't remember, but just gonna find out once I go through this. Hopping in replay mode. Let's go to 6 a.m. actually. So, alright, this time frame. Alright. As soon as you look at this, the first thing you should see is the drawn liquidity that we're headed towards. So, on the very higher time frame, we have this draw right here, which is all-time highs. We're relatively close to it, so this seems like the overall draw for the entirety of the week. Of course, I'm not expecting this to get hit on a no news Monday. But yeah, this is a draw I'm going to keep in mind for the entirety of the week. However, we do have this draw right here, which is very prominent. This is, I think this was also London high. We'll just mark it for now and then double check later. We also have a massive 4-hour imbalance right here. This breaker block aligns with this high right here, so it's perfect. On the higher time frame, we have swept liquidity here. Inverse this 4 hours was this, so we're clearly headed towards buy side, and this is the most obvious target, so this will be the target for the day. This was also, if you scale down to the 1 hour, you can see this was a new week opening gap from the previous week. So great rejection level, took liquidity, and overall bullish structure from here. So simply looking for a continuation model towards this buy side on this day. So let's get to 9 a.m. 8 to 9. Okay, perfect. Now, well, if I do scale back down to the 4 hour, we don't have much to aim for. We have this unmitigated gap down here, but that's way out of range. So we scale to the hourly and we see price inverse this gap here. So something I do not want to see. Don't have much. This gap has already been tapped into. The next unmitigated gap is all the way down here, way out of range. So nothing to look for on the hourly. If you look on the 15-minute, we can see what we have here. Nothing on the 15-minute at all, except for this gap that we tapped into. It's pretty much the only thing. Let's see. Let's check ES. Maybe we have an SMT or something. Nope. Same thing here. Yeah. Just not great levels to look at here. I mean, this gap wasn't even unmitigated. Maybe if we, if this gap, or if we took liquidity within this gap, would have looked more cleaner, but this just looks like a bunch of crap, honestly. But we do have a major reversal right here. So if we scale down, get to market open, actually. Okay, this makes more sense. I like how this looks. Okay, this is very beautiful. Let me go ahead and turn the indicator on for the session highs and session lows. So yes, this was, okay, this was not London. I don't know why I marked it. That was on the 4 hour. That didn't even come to mind. This was just a previous week high. So this is our main draw for the day. Now, if we get longs on this will not be our this will be our final TP, but we would definitely be scaling at London here. Okay, that is if we get long. So as I said before, the structure did not look very well at all. We don't even have a 15-minute inverse out of the entirety of this leg. Not rejecting off a great level. Yeah, just overall it doesn't look too great. However, we do come and sort of edge this high right here, making relatively equal highs. This is also a session high. So this is very clearly the drawn liquidity for the day, as well as this high up here. So before we take this high, we retrace back down into this 50-minute. Same here on ES, which seeing this, I don't like that we took London here, but I still feel like these highs are intact on ES. So very high time frame, low resistance right there. Don't like that we hit that though. However, if we simply get an entry model from this 15-minute gap, I'll still look to take longs. If not, be done for the day. So we do inverse this 5-minute. Let's see, maybe we dip deeper into this 5-minute. We'll keep that in mind. There's also a 15-minute down here. Okay, so we run straight up. Let's see. Wow, we do that as soon as market opens. So both DOLs actually taken within 2 minutes of market open. That's absolutely insane. This should have been a day you just log off completely. I mean, the only thing you can really take is you should not really be shorting from here. Just because unless we have higher time frame confirmation, maybe we inverse the 15-minute, then you can look to take shorts toward these relatively equal lows and maybe these Asia lows, but not likely going to happen, especially seeing this market open. So we'll just simply wait for a 5 or a 15-minute retrace. And we don't seem to get that. Okay, we did get something here, so we'll scale down on this little time range on the 1 minute, see if we got anything. Nope, nothing. Got absolutely nothing. Okay. Even if you did take a continuation, the next draw is all the way towards all-time highs, which once we do run up, it does seem reasonable to take out. But of course, this is way after kill zone, so nothing to be taken here. At least on ES. I did not check gold or YM that much that week, so not too sure about those pairs. Let's see, maybe we got an entry model on this 5-minute on ES. Let's see. Okay, yeah, never mind. Just ripped to market open. Okay, that's going to be it for Monday. So Monday was a no news and a no trade day, so it's pretty typical. Not really expecting much on that day anyway, so we'll skip to Tuesday. I think one more candle. 2-6. Okay, so still have all-time highs open, so this is still going to be our main draw on liquidity until we prove otherwise in terms of like the P rays getting disrespected. This day is pretty interesting. So we are currently in a 4-hour gap, just resting inside there. No signs of respect yet. So we don't know if we're going to respect or reject it. We also have an unmitigated 4-hour just above us. This is bearish. And then we have an unmitigated bullish gap down here. So multiple PD arrays. Don't know which one we're going to react off. So it's just patience. There's 2 scenarios I would like to see in this day. This structure on the 4-hour looks very clean compared to what it looked like down here on Monday. So this definitely looks like something we could play off of. Scenario number 1, I could see us rejecting off this hourly or this 4-hour, inversing this gap, having a retrace and just coming up to these all-time highs. And scenario number 2, what I want to see is if that doesn't happen, I would like to see us dip down lower into this 4-hour, into this premium or discounted, sorry, not premium, which is also an unmitigated 4-hour. And we get an entry model from here and just run up to all-time high. So those are the 2 bullish scenarios that I could see playing out. In terms of bearish, don't really see much we could do unless we pull into this 4-hour. I would have to see some major bearish confluences to short this, because if we tap into this 4 hour, I doubt that I'm going to wait for this to get inverse, because if we don't inverse this, then it's literally over. There's no reason to short. Of course, landing bullish on the day. We have this 4 hours. This is also an hourly. We are also inside of an hourly right here. So yeah, we have 2 hourly unmitigated gaps, which I'll mark out, and then we'll just go into the kill zone and see what setups we had. Now that we got everything marked, let's go ahead and hop into the 15-minute and get into market open. Okay, so one thing I can automatically see is we have London resting just beneath us. Actually, we're not in the right time frame. We need to go to, is this 9:30? No. Okay, here we go. We will bring this back actually, because we went a little too far ahead of ourselves. Okay, so on the 15-minute we have London down here, and did not quite tap into these unmitigated hourly, so I do like that we left these open. We did tap into the 4 hour, as you can see. So it's pretty tricky, because if we could technically get shorts from here, but not something I would take at all. Okay, definitely not something I would take. Now if we check, ES actually has a great draw on liquidity. We have an unmitigated 15-minute as well as quadruple equal highs. Okay, if we check the hourly, let's see, this is also an hourly unmitigated gap, but we also tap into this 4 hour bearish gap, which is again not looking to take shorts from here. So if you get them, not interested at all. Let's go ahead and play this out and see what happens. So market open, we dump. Okay, here I do see a long playing out, or a long setup forming. Excuse me. My goodness. Need some water, man. Alright, we have this 1 minute, but of course we take the highest time frame inversion, so we completely ignore that. This 2 minute never ends up happening, which I'm kind of glad it didn't, because if we got this, our stops would be, first of all, the RR would not be that great. This isn't even a 1-to-1. And second of all, we edge London low, which is not what I want to see happen, especially if we have an SMT, or if we could have had an SMT here. Do not want to see that happen. So we do have an SMT right here. We do end up taking London low, so at this point I am open to take longs. Doesn't look like we got it though. So we have a 3 minute, and we have a 4 minute, and we have a 5 minute. But it doesn't look like we get that. We just tap into the gaps and push lower. So at this point in time, we are clearly showing that we're not rejecting off of London, and the next possible level we could reject off is this 4 hour. So I'm just gonna wait for this 4 hour to get tapped. I'm still open to take longs here if we do get it, just because we have a 5 minute, which will be a higher time frame complements that we could go higher. But instead we tap into the 5 minute, and seems like we're getting pushes lower. Here is a short, because we aren't necessarily bearish on the higher time frame. We're bullish on the higher time frame, but in this lower time range, we are bearish until this 4 hour gets hit, just because this London is showing that we aren't rejecting off here. We tapped into a 5 minute and gave an entry model to the downside. The only thing I don't like about this is this 4 hour is the only draw, which is not a bad thing, but the RR on this entry is not that great. If we do get it to a 1-to-1, we don't give much breathing room. It's about half of this fair value gap, so did not take that, stayed out of this one. And at this point, we do end up tapping just by barely, like not even a point, maybe like a tick. We take this 4 hour, and so if we get an entry model, it's valid. Me personally, I do not like that we barely took that out. I'd like us to dip deeper inside of it, but yeah, what happens. So at this point in time, we get a 3 minute, which I believe is the highest time frame. Trading view, why are you taking a long time to load? Yeah, that's the highest time frame. So entry, of course, would be right here. Didn't inverse here. No, that sucks. You could have got a better entry with a better risk to reward. But I'm not sure why NQ chose to wait another separate set of 3 minutes. Targets, all of course, up here we have beautifully generated low resistance right there, as well as an unmitigated hourly just above us. So these are perfect targets. This premium 1 hour aligns with true day open, so this is another target that I really like. We also give a 5 minute model right here if you wanted to take this for a higher confirmation. But yeah, this is the one I ended up taking personally just because I missed out on this one. And yeah, due to me missing out, I waited for this 5 minutes of inverse, and I just went break even very early, so this did end up being a break even trade. But on the entry, on the data entry right here, your break even point would be at this 5 minute. Not for unmitigated gap, but this intermediate high that we have, we tapped into this 5 minutes, so this is a great break even point right here. And this trade actually did end up being break even. As you can see, we just absolutely get swallowed up right there. So, but one thing that I do like about this is we tap back into this 4 hour. We get a little deeper in there, so definitely looks much better than this. This does not look great at all. And I think we have an SMT. Yeah, so we have an SMT right there. So this is perfect. It's everything you want to see. You have a manipulation into a PD array. You also take lower time frame liquidity. We did take London low as well, so that's great. We have an SMT being put in place. If we get an entry model, this is a pitch perfect setup, okay? Let's see what the highest time frame inversion is. We have a 4 minute. Okay, let's see. We might make a 5 minute right here, I think. Okay, yeah, so we made a 5 minute. So if this 5 minute gets inversed, this is when we long. You could technically go here off of this. This looks like a pretty solid entry, in my opinion. But we'll have to see if this is a 5 minute that gets formed. Yeah, so this candle is a 5 minute that gets formed. So your break even, of course, would be at an unmitigated 5 minute, which is not ideal in this situation because this just does not look great. So it's just better to wait for that 5 minute inverse and then to target higher draws. So of course, that's what we wait for. Okay, so we ended up getting the 5 minute, but I'm gonna bring this back because we actually got basically a continuation model. So during this time that we're waiting to inverse this 5 minute to take entries here, we actually get a continuation model entry, which is where we dip lower into a fair value gap, such as a 5 or a 15 minute. In this case, it's a 5 minute. We also do that as well on ES, so that's great. And we have multiple different time frame fair value gaps, such as the 1 minute. Probably every single time frame here. We have the 2 minute, the 3 minute, the 4 minute. Okay, we actually don't have a 4 minute in this case, so but yeah, 1, 2, 3, and 5 minute all getting tapped into. And then to top it all off, we get a 1 minute inversion right here. So you could take this. This is definitely valid, but in my case, I took this trade a little late on this entry right here. And there's a specific reason why, okay? As you can see, this candle, we are not above this 5 minute that we had. And if you look at the time frame, or the time till the candle close, we actually have, it says 10:40 down here, right here. It says 10:48. That means we have 1 minute until the next 5 minute opens. 1 minute, okay? So all we have to, if this was another set, like if we had to wait another set of 5 minutes, I would definitely just take this entry. I'm willing to take that risk. But since we had just 1 minute till the 5 minute closed, I was like, it's better to be safe than sorry. Just wait for this 5 minute to get inverse. And luckily, wasn't too much of a crazy candle. So we still got a great entry. And then we ended up forming equal highs right here. So this was a great break-even point. We have equal highs. And then wasn't really planning on going break-even here. Just eyeballing this level. Mostly planning on going break-even at this fair value gap right here. And I told myself if we inverse this gap, then I'll move my break-even point to be up here, and that which I did. So once we ended up coming up here, this is when I move stops to break-even, because this is around that low resistance right there. So yeah, this did end up getting break-even, unfortunately. If you look at the delivery, this looks insane. Looks like we're bound to run up here, but price had other plans. End up just chopping up here. And we eventually did hit the draw, as you can see right there, which is pretty unfortunate. This is pretty much how all of October has been. Just a bunch of crap. And yeah, we did give another re-entry on the higher time frame. As you can see, we tapped into this 5 minute. Respect it. Actually, I'm not sure if we did. Never mind, we did not. So this is not something to worry about. But that's Tuesday for you. Now let's get down on the Wednesday. Kind of took a while on Tuesday there, so I'm gonna try to speed up the process on Wednesday and the rest of these days. Okay, this is 2 to 6 a.m. All right. Just looking at this 4-hour, looks very shitty in my opinion. Definitely a day to stay out. Looks like a ranging day. I think this day we avoided some losses. I'm not too sure. We're about to find out right now. But we have this 4-hour we are rejecting off of. We inverse this 4-hour up here, but then we just range between this entire candle right here. This just looks like a bunch of crap. Okay. Honestly, it's just better to just go to sleep, stay in bed this day. If we go on the 1 hour, there's really nothing to look at on the 4-hour. This is... Alright, here we go. So, we have a low right here, relatively equal lows. We'll look out for. We have very good, actually, generated low resistance right here on the higher time frame. So, this can definitely see us being bullish. I mean, the higher time frame does tell us we're going to be bullish on the 4-hour. It just doesn't look that great. We tap into the 4-hour. We inverse this 4-hour. Yeah, makes sense for us to run up here, as well as all-time highs still being intact. Everything's just screaming bullish today. So, yeah, we're going to hop into right before market open. All right, so what I see on the 15-minute is we have London highs being open. Okay, we have London highs being open. We take Asia. We don't quite take this previous day low yet. I'm not sure if we did. We're going to find out here in a bit. But we do have an SMT here. So we have an SMT at the Asia low. This could very well be our manipulation leg, and in that case, I don't see us needing to, resweep this leg right here if we're going to be bullish. And if we did, there still is good reasoning behind it, which could be this low right here, as well as this unmitigated hourly that we have all the way down here. So I can see those levels getting tapped, but if we push any further than that, likely not going to be bullish anymore. More likely going to flip bearish, and in that case, we'll just not look to trade. So we'll see what we have. We are rejecting off this 15-minute here. So yeah, simply just looking for a continuation towards London. That's going to be what I'm looking for the day. Wow, that is a crazy market open, dude. Almost 100 points within like less than 10 minutes. That's insane. Okay, anyways, if we check this, we do take this low out. We tap into this 15-minute down here, and I think, yeah, this was an hourly. Sorry, I made a mistake earlier. This was an unmitigated 15-minute is what we had. We also retapped this previous weak level that we swept. Just a little bit of extra confluence. So yeah. At this point in time, let's see if we had any SMTs. SMT with previous day low. My goodness, man. Yeah, this looks perfect, dude. This looks absolutely perfect. We make a new beautiful leg right there. So yeah, if we get this inverse, this looks very, very solid. We have a 2 minute. This 1 minute looks valid. So if we get this 1 minute, unfortunately, the 1 minute was this entry model kind of suffered from success. Okay, so of course we love good delivery, but this one was a little bit too good. I think at this point in time we already tapped into the next 1 minute as well as very close to this 2 minute right here, and I think we're already inside the 3 minute. Yeah, at this point in time we already tapped into this 3 minute, very close to the 4 minute, and wow, again, right when we get the entry it forms the 5 minute, so we would have to go break even extremely early. So this is very just unfortunate. This looks like a great trade here. Just something you would have to miss out on and wait for this 5 minute to get inversed. Yeah, this is the day we avoided a loss. This was more of just a mechanical loss, nothing you should have even taken or thought about taking. We edged this 5 minute getting inversed, and what I was thinking at the moment was we could maybe tap down into here and get a continuation model, but seeing how this wick formed is highly like unreasonable. And at this point, once we do get this 5 minute all the way up here, okay, we already smacked this level right here, and which is a great, honestly, a level that I would probably most likely take partials at if we got the entry model down here. So could definitely be a great sell side rejection level, or buy side rejection level, sorry. We have liquidity imbalance right there. We also have a 15 minute BPR. We have a 30 minute, and I think this looks to be OTE from here to London high, or at least equilibrium. Okay, yeah, that's OTE. This is a great rejection level zone. So if you took longs at this point, you know, you need to get back on the charts, do some back testing, and you'll find out why. And I think we actually had an SMT at that high. Yeah, so we had an SMT as well. Definitely should not have been taken. If anything, you could have taken shorts, which I actually did this day. I just took these on paper strictly because my bias, I was sticking to a bullish bias here. So I just took these shorts on paper. Already discussed the levels we tapped, the imbalances, the OTE, the liquidity, SMT, everything. Excuse me. I don't burp. Now we just wait for the entry model. Nothing on the 3 minutes, so it was a 2 minute gap. Yeah. 2 minute right there. Stops at this high. And targets, honestly, just because this level was protected and I was still bullish, the only really levels I thought to really aim for was this 15 minute rejection wick. Okay, very massive rejection wick there. We have the OTE of the rejection wick as well as the 50% equilibrium. So great levels. Just honestly, TPs from here to here doesn't really matter. This is a paper trade, but it's still a great setup. Very beautiful. And yeah, end up playing out. And at this point in time, okay, if we pull it back here, I was looking along here. Okay, we tap. I don't think we tap into a 5 minute. Yeah, so we inverse the 5 minute. However, we were inside of a 3, a 2, and a 1 minute. We tap into the OTE of this 15 minute rejection wick, and we have a beautiful rejection wick that we just formed on the 1 minute time frame. So at this point in time, looking to take the highest time frame inversion on this leg. Clearly not the 1 minute. We have a 2 minutes right there, and I think that the 3 minutes should be the last one. Yeah, so it's the last one. This gap gets inverse. I'm looking to take it. Unfortunately, we did not. We ended up, selling off pretty heavy. Did get another continuation short here. Definitely more mechanical though. Strictly because, I mean, what would you really target here? This low is protected. And the next draws are all the way down here. So, pretty clean mechanical short that played out. This short was definitely much better. Yeah, it's pretty much it for this day because at this point, as I said, actually, I don't know if I said that, but if we rejected any lower than these levels, would not be interested in taking longs. So, yeah, that's going to be it for Wednesday. Let's go ahead and hop into Thursday. Okay. Thursday, we inverse this gap. We pull back into this bearish gap. So we look bearish. We look pretty bearish on the higher time frame. We've given much confirmation. Confirmation. Holy, I don't know why I just started stuttering, but we've given great confirmation. We have multiple inversions to the downside. That's 3 4-hour candles. And we pull back into a 4-hour bearish gap. Now on the hourly, if we see anything, nothing on the hourly here. In fact, we have multiple inversions once again, and we pull back into nothing here on the hourly. So nothing on the hourly. On the 15-minute, we have this massive gap that we have here on the 15-minute that we respect. So I like this. Okay, I like this a lot. I could see us reversing strictly because we took out Asia already with this London leg, and I can see continuations to the downside towards Asia. Let's see. We do have great rejection off here, off this level here, which is one thing I do like. Once again, as we did on Tuesday, on Wednesday, the same thing happened. We built great low resistance. So I'm really liking the draws here. We have all-time highs resting above all this low resistance, so this is perfect. Yeah, let's go ahead and just play this out. Okay, this is 8 a.m. 9:30. Okay, bring it back. All right, so here we take this draw on liquidity, which once again I forgot that we were still all the way back at 6 a.m. and we were on at 9 a.m. So that bias I did have ended up playing out. We took Asia. London was our manipulation leg. We distributed all the way down to Asia low. And we have an SMT. So this is perfect. This is great confirmation that we're going to be long from here. All right. No reason, absolutely no reason at all for us to resweep this low because this is a protected low. It's an SMT. We took it a session low. There's no fair value gaps here to even tap into. There's absolutely no reason to go lower. So from here, I'm expecting a skyrocket and a continuation to come to these London highs. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Just wait for a 5 or a 15-minute pullback. We don't get that, we immediately run up to London. Again, just same thing as we did, I think on Monday. This was the 15-minute time frame. On the 5-minute, we don't tap into anything. Oh my goodness, bro, I cannot speak. It's so annoying. All right, well, we do tap into this 5-minute here. We have a 5-minute there. We also have a 5-minute down here. We have an unmitigated 15-minute here, and we actually create another 15-minute right there. Okay, so could definitely get continuations here. Let's see what we could aim for. We have this intermediate high. There's really no crazy targets. I mean, the only crazy targets we have are up all the way up here, but I'm not even sure just because how far away we are from them. We are 225 points away. So, yeah, if we get a continuation model, it would be nice. Still be open to take it, which I think I did. Yeah, let's just go ahead and go through it. So, this day we tap into this 5 minute, right? This 5 minute that I marked out, but we edge this unmitigated 5 minute, which I did not like, and luckily we did not give an entry model here, and we run lower. We end up filling this 5 minute. We get an entry model here. Boom. Target's up here. Final target right there for a good 1.7 R. This is around 1.5 right here, or 1.3 actually. This is perfect. This is very, very perfect. We have decent amount of low resistance right here. Break even would just be not much of a good break even point. Guess it'll just be at these highs. Like right here. Honestly, this looks like something you could just not even go break even on, just full TP. Just TP or stop loss, you know. This did end up getting wrecked, okay? However, was kind of okay with it just because we tapped into this discounted 5 minute as well as this unmitigated 15 minute and then the newly 15 minute that we just formed. So from here, taking longs was a great idea in my eyes. Waited for, I think, a 2 minute. Yeah, so we waited for this 2 minute up here to get inverse. Stops around right there. This was a 1.2 R. This was great. Okay, I love this when break even at this high. And wow, honestly, looking back at it, so at this point, I did get break even. This should have been my break even point. I think because I don't quite remember because it's been like almost a week ago. We edged this, and just because we came so close to it, I went break even and ended up getting cracked at my break even point, and then we just run up towards TP. Anyways, this was a great entry, but we could have had a better entry. So you see where this candle is right here? This was a high on the 30 seconds. So our entry should have been like around right here because there's a 30-second inversion. So this should have been the play that we should have taken, but I was not focused and ended up just missing out on this one. Still took a very solid trade on the 2 minute, which I would have taken. Probably honestly would have scaled into a good position here. This was great. This was a great play. Just should not have gotten break even. Honestly, should have just held because our break even point did not get hit. So that's pretty unfortunate. So took a loss, took a break even, and then I actually took a re-entry. I believe it was around right here off a 2 minute inversion. Okay, it was a 3 minute. Honestly, just targeting hopes and dreams. I really wanted these highs to at least this high up here to get hit. We already hit that 15 minute intermediate high, so there really should have been nothing for me to trade here. Honestly, just got, this is pretty much a revenge trade. I just really liked how ES looked. Okay, I think there's nothing that we tapped into, but if you look at ES, you'll see what I mean. I could have sworn we had an SMT. Okay, it was this. So ES, we are, actually, let me see the time frame. Go back here. Just a 5 minute. Okay, so ES, we tapped into this 5 minute here, and we actually inverse this 5 minute right here. So this looked great. I loved how that looked. I'm trying to think, because I figured we had an SMT. Huh. That's very strange. That's actually really, really strange. Or I think it was this. Okay. Let me see. Okay, I got it all wrong. Here's the play I took. That was my mistake. 2 minute inversion right there. Beautiful rejection rate coming out of this 2 minute. Coming out of this 1 minute as well. I was gonna say there's no way I took that other trade because that looks so butt juice, bro. 3 minute. That's about it. Now for ES. Yeah. This is when we rejected off the 5 minute. We also just previously inversed this 5 minute, so this looked like we were bound to take this high out. Like it looked so obvious in my eyes. Still shouldn't have been on the charts at this point. This ended up, I had a chance to leave at break even, which I figured, like, you just have that gut feeling that a trade's going to lose. It's just market experience. Like, you can't really explain why. I just knew this trade was going to lose, but I still, was holding on to that hope, that, like, very low probability that we could just rip and, get our money back. But very bad play on my end. This was this whole week was going great until I took this trade. This was very, very bad. That's pretty much going to wrap it up for Thursday. Let's go ahead and head into Friday. What time is it? I need to hurry up with this damn recap. I'm tired of doing this shit so late. Okay, we have all-time highs right here. All right. Unmitigated gap, unmitigated gap. Now if we go to... Yeah, we just rip through that, huh? I'm just going to review price here. So we have an hourly down here. On the 15 minute, we have 15 minute that we tapped into. There's also a 5 minute. Okay, so market open. Let's bring it back here. This is when we had CPI, as I said earlier. This isn't a data high, because we already took it out. We still had data highs available on ES, right there, as you can see. So this was just our newly formed all-time high. Market open, we dump. We have the highest time frame was a 3 minute. Just to show you, there you go, the 3 minute. But we ended up closing all the way up here. Even if you put at this body low, it's still not even a 1-to-1. Terrible RR, so we stayed out of this play, which was smart. We could have taken the risk and had our stop loss very close, but it's dangerous, and if I would have lost that, I would have been very pissed at myself. So, yeah. We could have got shorts here just because we had an S&T right there, as you can see. We also had data lows, just a little bit beneath that, maybe like 20, not even, yeah, just about 20 points away. We have London lows, and then we have Asia lows. Overall, bunch of low resistance that I wanted to see get taken out. This was the only time I would be open to take shorts, and it was off of this 4 minute, but we did not end up getting that. I also wanted to see ES inverse the 5 minute right here, but we did not end up getting that. We just rejected off that. So yeah, once we did reject off that, seeing how ES rejected off the 5 minute, could definitely see NQ longs playing out here. And we did end up getting it, but I did not take it, of course, strictly because there's nothing to aim for. This high is protected. Not only that, but there's an SMT there, so very dangerous. Did end up playing, though. Right there. But definitely not like something you should not be taking. That's pretty much going to wrap it up for this, because there's nothing else that we got. Okay, we did get a play here. This is the one I took. Okay, I was thinking. Yeah, I'm stuttering again. But yesterday I was trying to look for an SMT or something because I just realized it was this day that I took this trade with an SMT. So you see these lows right here? ES took them. Okay, beautiful SMT got put in place. All right. We are rejecting off the 4-minute that we previously respected, and there's nothing on the 5-minute. Yeah, rejecting off multiple fair value gaps there. And on ES, we are rejecting off of 5-minute. Okay, not only this 5-minute, but this 5-minute as well. We have a beautiful rejection wick. ES gave a 5-minute inverse model right here, so this is perfect. And we took our executions on NQ. Nothing. The 5 minutes all the way up here, so this is our break-even point. Entry model. There's a 1-minute, probably a 2-minute or something that we took. Okay, or not. There's this really weird noise that's playing on, and it's getting on my fucking nerves. It's just some loud squealing noise, like an old wheel being turned a million times. Had partial set here and had a runner up to here, and dude, look how close we came to my partials. Look how fucking close. I had so much conviction this would hit, and I would have made back the 2 losses I made from yesterday, and then we fucking dumped to break even. So annoying. This has been happening all month. Just been edging TPs and just running towards stop loss. Or break even, sorry. So this shit's so annoying. And then we end up taking these lows out right here. We don't even take this low. We just edge, and I think from here we reversed. Ended up taking those targets that I was looking for. Okay, we actually edged the full TP. See if we hit it within the next, like, come on. Yeah, we ended up hitting it. So the draws, once again, were right. I think every single trade we took, the draw on liquidity was right. Really shitty PA this entire week. It's just, the draws are great. Okay, I like the structure on most of these days. However, just the delivery and the PA, like, look at this, bro. It's just not good, not ideal conditions. You should definitely be preserving your capital on. Lowering your risk size, going break even, maybe a little extra early, and yeah, just staying out. Like, even this week, tomorrow's gonna be Wednesday. I have still yet to take any trades at all. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this trade recap. I need to go ahead and get to bed. It's already 1, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. But that's gonna be it for the recap. Peace.